Well, hey everybody, welcome to San Antonio. This is the EV Truck RODEO that's going on here today, and it's a great opportunity for people who own or be interested in electric vehicles. We have everything from F-150 Lightning, we have Cybertrucks, we have a Hummer as well, and also a couple of Rivians. So it's a great opportunity to kind of come out and compare shop and ask people who own them, what is it really like to own an electric truck, and is what you hear on social media actually true, or maybe there's a little bit more of a nuance and actual ownership might tell you a different story. So we're going to take a walk through here. You'll see some drone video as well of this event, and it's really just a great opportunity here, and the weather couldn't have been more perfect. So let's go in and let's take a look around. All right, I'm here with Tariq from EV Noir, and they are the sponsors of this event, this EV Truck RODEO. And just tell me a little bit about what inspired you to put this on, and what are you hoping to accomplish with this event here today?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, definitely. So what motivated me for putting this on was, I've been a part of a lot of other different kind of events where it focused on just one type of EV. Mm-hmm. What I wanted to do was bring all the different kind of brands together, specifically looking at all the trucks, because we don't really look at those too often. And us being here in Texas, this is truck country.
Right.
So I just wanted to put this together so people can come out from the community and see, what EVs have to offer, especially within the truck world.
All right, well, cool. Well, so what went into organizing this? Did you have a lot of the clubs sponsoring this, or you just have individual owners?
Yeah, so a co-sponsor is also South EV vehicle owners, and what went into it was definitely sending out a lot of correspondence to get people to come out and actually support the event, and then coordinating with all the drivers. So I'm blessed enough to have drivers from all the different EV trucks to come out and participate.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the more powerful parts of this event that you put on, is you actually have owners that own these vehicles, and they're able to talk to people about their experiences. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's amazing, because just like you said, they're driving it day in and day out. They're experiencing those vehicles. They're able to talk about how the vehicle drives, talk about the comfort and not so comfort, and the utility aspect of the vehicle.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but there's different manufacturers, different styles, different options. So what have you learned with this event yourself?
What I've learned is that, so I own, out of the pickup truck line, I own the Rivian R1T, and comparing it with...
That's a very pretty car too, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much. Comparing it to the Lightning, who has a lot more plugs and charging in their front, versus a EV Hummer who has a lot more space maybe inside. Yeah. It's just, there's different things depending on your use case, but I definitely love all the vehicles.
So was your Rivian the first electric vehicle of any kind that you've owned, or have you had others?
No, I've had others. My first EV was a Model 3. Okay. Then when the Y came out, I got a Model Y. My wife owns the Tesla Model X. And once I sold my Model Y, I decided to get the Rivian. Okay,
so what was it about the Rivian that gravitated you to that vehicle?
I think the biggest thing about the Rivian was the interior. Okay. I love the interior. The fit and finish was just, you can tell they took the time to put attention to detail into the interior.
Okay, so how long have you owned your Rivian?
It's been about 3 months now.
Okay, and what is your experience living day in, day out with that vehicle?
I have not took it on a long road trip yet. I've driven from coast to coast in EVs, but I'm looking forward to that, especially once Tesla opens up their supercharging network to all the other EVs. But day in and day out, I drive it around the city of San Antonio. I love it. I get a lot of attention with it, especially with the lights. Yeah. So it's been a great vehicle, no issues thus far.
Okay, we talked about the interior fit and finish, and that really was a big thing for you. But what else about the truck have you found that you really like?
I love the space. So the truck has a gear tunnel. Mm-hmm. It's basically an opening on both sides of the vehicle where you can stick things in, like groceries or golf bags. It has a bed. It has a large frunk. So the space in the Rivian is very comparable to maybe some other vehicles, but it's just enough space for me and my family.
All right, well, cool. And for people who have never owned an electric car or electric truck, what has been your experience living with electric vehicles?
My experience has been awesome. I've kind of evolved in the EV space. My first EV was in late 2018.
Okay.
And at that time I was renting, so I was charging on a 110 outlet, which is what we call trickle charging. So I had to become very creative with how much range I could get over time. But as we've progressed, I own a home now we have 2 chargers in our garage for level 2 charging. So my experience has been great. No issues at all. There is a little bit more planning that goes into owning an EV right now, but I'm not rushing nowhere. So, I have no issue putting in that planning and enjoying my vehicle.
Okay, and one last question. What about the technology that is what you will find in most electric vehicles? Is that difficult to deal with? Was it a big a learning curve, or how was that?
I know specifically for me, it wasn't a big learning curve. I'm from a technology background. That's my field. I was in cyber during my time in the military. But no, it wasn't a big transition for me. A lot of the electric vehicles, the technology is very user friendly. So as long as you take down and just take time and sit down and be patient with it, it's easy to pick up.
All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate you putting on this event. I know there's a lot of people here getting a lot of great information, and just being able to go to one place to see all of them was very, very helpful. So thank you very much for sponsoring this event and for putting it on, and also talking about your experience with your Rivian. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And if you want to learn more about electrification and sustainability, go to evnoir.com or evhybridnoir.com.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Well, everybody, I'm here with Drew, and he's the owner of this F-150 Lightning. So I thought it would be great if we got an opportunity just to ask you a little bit about what is it like owning an electric car or a truck, and what have you done with it in the time that you've owned it?
So this particular truck is just like driving any other F-150. It just has more power. This vehicle's been used for Uber, it's been for towing, 38-foot RV, it's been used for, I'll fill the trunk with toys, the frunk with toys. Everyday driving back and forth here in Texas from Abilene, Houston to Lubbock. We've done supercharging, we've done slow charging, we do solar charging at home. We use it for a truck. This particular one we've run plasma cutter and welder out of the bed of the truck on property to repair fence.
Well, very cool. Now, was this your first electric vehicle? Or?
This is actually my second realm into the electric vehicle range. I had a 2016 plug-in hybrid.
Okay.
The Ford Fusion plug-in hybrid back in 2016 when they first came out.
So was that your dip your feet in the water?
That was my dip my feet in the water time thing. When they said we could get 300-mile range, I was on it because that was my range point.
Well, I was just going to ask you a question about that, because that seems to be one of the most common things people ask is, I've heard the range is not great, I can't go anywhere, I can't tow anything. What has your actual experience been?
My actual experience is it's a half-ton truck. You tow half-ton range. Your range still 300. I get anywhere from 280 to 310 on a normal driving around town in Houston, Texas. I get that range.
Okay, and how often do you tow things?
Every other weekend.
Okay, so it's not like it's just a every few month type thing, but for you, it's really important to be able to tow.
Yes.
And this
I needed a truck.
Okay. All right. So when you were making the decision, why did you choose the F-150 versus something else?
F-150 came out first.
Okay.
That's the ultimate. They got the range. It was already a truck. It was already on the road. I wasn't waiting on Tesla. I wasn't waiting on Rivian. It was here.
All right, well, cool. Well, can you tell me or show me a few of the features about the truck that you like the most?
I love the frunk. We've actually got it set up for the kids out here to play video games today on a 55-inch screen. It's been to a few car shows. We've seen it there. The other things I like is it is still an F-150 truck. So on the inside, I still have a gear shift. I have a big screen just like the newer vehicles. Ultimately, it's the new age and the old age mix.
Now, does the technology cause you any issues or kind of put you off, or is it pretty easy to use?
It's very easy to use. It's very similar to any other Ford vehicle you've ever owned.
All right, well, what about the bed? I see that you have like a step and some other.
So the step I use all the time because I'm short. And I won't always hold this out, but the step there gets you into the bed of the truck to Obviously, you see the rug in there. It's all scratched. If you get too close, you'll see the scratches all over. It is used to haul all the time.
Is the bed or the cargo capacity or anything any different than a regular truck?
Has more cargo capacity because you have the frunk.
Okay.
So we go to the grocery store, we load up the frunk instead of the bed of the truck.
Oh, very cool. Well, you had mentioned you got this because it was available quickly. You didn't have to wait on Tesla or anybody else, but there is one right behind you. So what do you think about that Tesla Cybertruck?
Oh, it's definitely a new age. It's going to be a great vehicle on the road for the people who can use it as intended. I'm very interested in it now that it's actually on the road.
Yeah.
But we are talking years apart. So this was 2022, so I got it in 21.
Right.
We're now in 23, almost, or we're in 24. So you're talking not a generation, but a few years.
Okay.
Right.
Well, what about the styling? That seems to be something that's a little controversial with the Cybertruck. What do you think?
Everything is changing in style.
Yeah.
It's personal preference. Friends I work with love the design of the Tesla truck. I'm still a little bit iffy on it, but it's growing on me the more I see it.
All right, well, cool. Well, if you had one last thing to tell the audience about owning an electric truck, and if they're a little bit hesitant on that, what do you think?
If you have a truck that if you're gonna drive 280 miles a day, not a month, a day, go with the electric. Whether it's truck, car, that's the best way to go.
All right.
If you're gonna go long haul all the time, you're gonna be on the road for over 500 miles every single day, don't go electric.
All right, well, hey, thank you very much for showing us around your F-150 and letting the audience know what it's like to actually own one. So Thank you.
Anytime.
Okay, I'm here with Bob Towsley, and he actually has owned a lot of trucks in the past, but never an electric truck. Is that correct?
Never.
And so what are your thoughts about electric trucks, and does an event like this help you maybe change your opinion?
It was actually a real eye-opener. You get so much bad press from the internet, especially with the Lightning. Everybody talks about what the range wasn't. Ford stopped producing them, but you actually get to talk to real people here, people that actually own them, and they're enjoying the ownership. They're driving them, they're enjoying them. They're getting over 300 miles to a charge, and one owner has 60,000 miles on it, and he says, it's great.
So if you were to get a truck again, because I know that you might be looking, what is most important for you with a truck?
Ease of operation.
Okay.
Maintenance cost. That's one of the biggies.
Okay. Well, what about technology? Because when you get an electric vehicle or an electric truck, it does bring a lot more technology, a lot more electronics in the cabin of the vehicle. What does that do for you? What do you think about that?
Well, I'm an analog person.
Yeah.
I'm very much an analog person.
Okay.
And I don't quite know how I would deal with the technology in the truck.
Okay. So would that be something that would prevent you from buying one right now, or do you think you just need to have more familiarity?
There would be a learning curve.
Okay.
I think to get in one and drive one, I think I would probably end up enjoying it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about styling. We looked at the F-150. It looks a lot like just the regular F-150. We'll be looking at a Rivian here, which sort of looks like a more modern version of a traditional truck. And then on the other extreme, we have the Cybertruck. So what does the styling mean to you, and does it matter to you?
Oh, it matters a great deal.
Okay.
I much prefer the Lightning.
Okay.
The Rivian would probably come in a distant second.
Okay.
The Cybertruck, I can't get used to the Cybertruck.
Oh, really? A little bit too futuristic?
I can't do that. I'm sorry. It's just not in my ballpark.
Well, it's time to join the 22nd century.
Look, you just drug me into the 21st.
Yeah.
Kicking and screaming into the 21st.
Okay.
But I mean, everybody enjoys the Cybertruck. I'm just not there yet.
Okay. So for you, more traditional styling would be kind of what you'd be looking for.
Absolutely.
All right. And the last question I have is, for an event like this, how is it for you to be able to take a look at all the various ones here in one place?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm really glad that we came. It's nice to get hands-on. It's nice to talk to the people. It's nice to be able to get in them and sit in them. It's a lot like going to a Porsche event. They're very friendly, and I'm enjoying it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your impressions and your thoughts. And I know a lot of viewers out there are interested to find out what people really think about these new electric vehicles that maybe they've heard of or maybe they haven't, and just how they work. So
Yeah, and like I said, I'm very much an analog guy, but I'm having fun.
all right. Well, thank you very much.
Anytime.
So I'm here with Shannon, and you actually own a Rivian.
Well, I have an R1T, yes.
Well, outstanding. So first of all, why are you out here at Electric Truck event if you already own one?
Because, well, I have owned a Lightning. I currently own a Rivian. I'm going to own a Cybertruck this summer,
okay.
so I wanted to see them all next to each other and kind of compare.
Well, that you are actually a very good person to talk to then, because you've been trying them all out. So tell the viewers out there, what is it like owning each of them and your thoughts on going towards a Cybertruck?
Okay, the Rivian, outstanding. I've loved it. I'm shocked that this is the first product for a company.
Yeah.
I have loved this truck the whole time I've had it. And I'm actually kind of getting sad thinking I'm going to trade it in on the Cybertruck, but still, the Lightning was great. The front, amazing. I had the Pro Series, so the range was not where I needed it to be. I drive 30 to 40 miles a day to work. And I was having to charge every day, you know, with that big battery. It just didn't work. The Rivian, great range. I'm getting about 340 miles on the street tires.
Okay.
So it's been great. You know, the size is perfect, smaller truck. Cybertruck, we've owned every Tesla, and I trust Tesla 100%. That's why I'm giving up the Rivian for the Cybertruck.
Okay.
So
how do you use trucks? What is your main daily use?
Daily use, I drive back and forth to work. I do have a trailer. I have two trailers, a cargo trailer and I have a car trailer. So I move cars for friends. We use our cargo trailer about once a month, we haul stuff to the dump, stuff like that. So we do a lot of towing, you know, not a lot, maybe once or twice a month we do towing, but mostly it's commuting. So, and we do like to go, I'm also a Jeep owner, so we like to go off-roading too. So that's where I'm looking for the Cybertruck to really be fun in that aspect.
So for somebody that's thinking about getting an electric truck, but not really interested on the fact that it's electric, just a truck, what are your key features of truck that you look at, and how does the electric trucks meet that?
Me, it's comfortability and convenience. I mean, the electric truck meets my needs for convenience. I mean, having a charger at home, if you have an electric vehicle, that's one thing I can't stress enough. Get you that level 2 charger at home, because waking up every morning to a full battery, I mean, my wife and I both drive electric, and we never have to worry about stopping to charge. You know, it's amazing. You know, we don't have to go to the gas station. It's the best thing I could recommend. I mean, convenience by far is the biggest thing I look at in these trucks.
Okay. Well, what about like cargo capacity, towing, just the electronic features? How do those relate?
Cargo capacity, that's one reason that we're looking to, that's why I think the Cybertruck over the Rivian is really going to be the big thing for me, is cargo capacity. The Rivian's great. It's very compact. Even when you drive it, you know, the interior is nice, tight, compact, which is good for just off-roading. But I think for an everyday quality of life, I'm looking at the size of the Cybertruck, how much room's in it. And that's the main thing for me. I mean, you've got the big bed and you've got the room inside. You know, you're giving up a little with the front, but to me, the front is not quite as important as the rest of the stuff.
Okay. Now, you say you're waiting for your Cybertruck, but you're not just getting any Cybertruck.
No, it will
Tell
be
me about yours.
I'm getting the Cyber Beast Foundation Series. I figured it's going to be the last truck I buy. I want it to be top of the line all the way, so I'm getting everything.
And you need to melt the road with its acceleration capability.
You've got it. My friends that don't know about electric vehicles, when I put them in the Rivian or the Tesla, and you hit that accelerator, you just see their face. That's what sells trucks. That's what sells the electric cars.
Well, awesome. So when do you think you're going to get your Cyber Beast pavement melting truck?
My birthday's in July, so let's hope for that.
Awesome. Well, I hope you get it then. I will be keeping an eye out at Giga Texas for it.
All right.
And I just got a message from Wes, who's the chief engineer for Cybertrucks, and he said that their production is going to be ramping up significantly more than what we've even seen here recently, and that there's going to be an armada of Cybertrucks in the outbound lot. So hopefully one of those is yours very soon.
It's going to be amazing, Joe. You'll see it before I do.
All right. Well, thank you very much for talking and letting the viewers know what it's like to actually own one of these vehicles.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
thank you, Joe.
Well, I'm here with Michael, and you are the president of the San Antonio Tesla Club.
Correct.
And we're out here at the EV Truck Rodeo. Talk to me about this event, since it's not really sponsored by the Tesla Club, but it is showing a lot of the Tesla vehicles, the Cybertruck, and a lot of other trucks.
Roger that. Yes, we're just here helping out with it, but it's just I'm the firm believer, as long as we can see different types of vehicles, it's great. Teslas are great vehicles, but it doesn't meet everybody's needs. So this is a great way for anybody to see what's available on the market, whether it's Tesla, Ford, GM, whatever they have here. So this is great to see a little bit of everything, let everybody make their own decisions and see what they like and don't like about each vehicle.
Okay. Well, one of the questions people have is Tesla has the North American charging standard. It has been adopted by a lot of car manufacturers, including all the ones that are out here. Yes. Talk to me about what you think about all of these owners of all these other different brands using the Tesla supercharger system.
That'll all depend on whether I need to charge or not. I'm on a road trip. I do know that the way that's going at the moment is only the version 3s or newer will be able to handle the other vehicles. So the charger that's over here, for instance, is a version 2 supercharger. So that means the other companies will not be able to use this particular charger. I don't think it's as big of a deal as people are making it out to, but I won't know until I actually need to charge on a road trip or something. The only other issue that I personally see on that is charging locations on the vehicles. Tesla's notoriously on the back left, so if a vehicle charging is on the back left or the front right, it should not be a problem. But other vehicles that are on the opposite side are basically going to take up two stalls, unless they can get the very end one on the left where they can pull in sideways, so they're not blocking 2 stalls.
Okay. So what this really is it's a system that Tesla built for Tesla vehicles, but now it's being opened up for other vehicles, and this is one of the design issues that hopefully we'll be seeing, that they do some engineering and some modifications of the superchargers to be able to let everybody use it.
Correct, and part of that I forgot to mention is the reason for that is the length of the cable. The chargers were designed for Tesla vehicles, so they're all designed so when a Tesla vehicle backs into it, there's enough cable to reach from the charger to the back of the vehicle. And with like the Ford Lightning, for instance, it's back quite a bit on the vehicle, so the cord barely reaches, if at all, to it. So that'll take some changes as well, like you said.
Well, talk to me about this event here. You've had a chance maybe to walk around and see all the different trucks and the manufacturers. What are your thoughts on what you've seen?
I'm impressed to see what's out there. It's educational. I tend to get hung up in my own little world of Tesla because I own 2 of them, and a lot of people I know own Teslas. So it's just great just to see what else is out there, and it's nice to see that they're not bad. I mean, it's what each person needs. Not everything is perfect for everybody. I love Teslas. I think you have a couple as well. You love them as well.
Well, Tesla's mission is to accelerate the transformation to sustainable energy, and they can't do it alone. So we need to have a lot more manufacturers like this and reach different audiences.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
I think that's a great event. So it goes beyond just what we see with Tesla.
Yes.
Is there any other just general thoughts that you have that you might want to pass on to viewers about electric cars or electric trucks that maybe people wouldn't know about?
All I say is if you're slightly interested, go take a test drive from whatever company you like. I had a friend of mine who was looking at a different make, and I said, you at least owe yourself to go and take a test drive of other EVs on the market. he ended up ordering a Tesla Model Y because he liked it and he liked he liked what he got. So even if you're a Ford fan, go out and test drive a GMC or a Lexus or a Tesla or something else, and then let yourself decide after driving it. I know that's hard when you have a vehicle like the Cybertruck where they're not doing test drives yet.
Yeah.
But Tesla has at least started to, in the last 6 months to a year, to allow more test drives. It used to not be that way in the past, but it is that way now. They finally realized that getting people in the seats makes a big difference, and letting people decide for themselves how they, if they like the vehicle or not.
Yeah, well, I agree. So thank you very much for helping to support this event and everything that you do for the Tesla Club here in San Antonio. And I do appreciate you giving some of your thoughts to the viewers.
Cool. Thank you, Joe.
All right, thanks. All right, so I'm here with Drew, and he is the owner of this Humvee, or is it a Humvee, or what do you call it?
Hummer EV.
Hummer EV. So a lot of people have heard about this particular vehicle, but maybe don't know much about it. So what is your experience actually owning one?
So the first thing I like to say about the Hummer EV is excess. It is excess everything. It is not what I would consider, a practical vehicle to own. That being said, it is an engineering study on what happens if you throw everything in the kitchen sink at a vehicle design. And that makes it spectacular. Love it. I actually use it for my daily driver, which at first wasn't the intent, but some of the remarkable things about it, the four-wheel steering, the instant acceleration, the efficiency of it, believe it or not, is pretty good. Makes it a perfect daily driver for me. And overall, I'm in love with it. It is one of the things that gives me pure joy every day.
Well, cool. So how do you use it most of the time? Is it just to drive around town, or do you use it to tow or carry stuff? Or?
So don't use it to tow, but I do take it off-road quite a bit.
Okay.
And so more soft landing than overlanding, but the capabilities are right there. Tons of torque, great pedal feel, great driving position. It really gives you kind of the sense of you can do anything, which for all intents and purposes you can. The one takeaway I'll say is every time you drive it, it's fun.
Okay.
It's just something that gives you pleasure. And I love it. I love every minute of it.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit more about that. What features of this truck specifically do you like?
Okay, so the killer features on the Hummer EV, actually one of them it shares with the Cybertruck, which is the four-wheel steering. It gives it a turning radius akin to a Chevy Aveo or Chevy Spark. So basically it's a parking lot Titan, right? It can basically go anywhere. Even though it's large, it can manage any parking lot and gives you a feeling of control that you just don't get anywhere else. The instant acceleration, the instant torque, it's all there. And so getting in and out of traffic, it's an amazing feeling of control and power. The adjustable suspension is also a lot of fun. But other than that, the just excess of it all. It's just a large vehicle that you get a lot of control out of, and you're in comfort, and it's a blast to drive.
Well, talk to me about that real quick, because I thought this was going to be an enormous vehicle, in my mind, and yet it's parked right next to the Cybertruck, and they look very similar in size. So does that surprise you?
No, so I mean, it's about 6 inches longer than the Cybertruck actually. Just doesn't, from the looks of things, it just doesn't look that way. But with with an EV architecture, you can do a lot of things in terms of packaging. So you can give similar payload size, a great cool compartment, and a frunk, and you can package it all in a manner that gives you all that space and capability in a much smaller, more compact, more efficient packaging. And so what you're going to see with EVs over the future is they're actually going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. The capability is still going to be there, and you're probably going to even get more capabilities. But it's all about engineers taking risk in terms of design and how they do it. And so what you're seeing is from the Hummer EV to the Rivian to the Cybertruck, engineers are just getting more experience in kind of designing EVs, and the advancements are just going to keep on coming.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I mean, we're at the very beginning of this electric vehicle and electric truck, time frame, and as they start learning what works and what doesn't, or how to be more efficient, I think we're going to see a lot more of these out there. Now, what is your thoughts about this event today with having all of these together?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're in Texas, right? And this state loves trucks. One of the things we have to do as EV enthusiasts is make sure that we spread the word. Look, EVs are not for everyone. But if it can fit into your lifestyle, then I would encourage everyone to go out and experience it. And that's what we're doing here. We're letting people walk around, touch, kick the tires, literally kick the tires on these vehicles and experience what they're like. Maybe this will encourage someone to go to a dealer, try one out. I encourage people to drive EVs for multiple reasons. One, they're great for the environment, right? The zero emission vehicles. Two, they're fun to drive. They're a blast. But three, they're really, kind of good from an economic perspective. And this is kind of one of those things where if you buy, $1 of gasoline, only about 1 cent of that stays in the local community versus $1 of electricity, about 70 cents of that stays in the local community. So now we're not only strengthening, ourselves from a health perspective with the environment, but also from an economic perspective, we're making our community stronger. So I always, there's multiple benefit points when it comes to EVs. Get out, try it, drive it. If it fits your lifestyle, it's good. This is Texas. We like choice, and we want to make sure everyone knows what the choices and options are out there.
That's pretty cool. Now, I think the last thing I'll just mention here or ask you about is an event like this is great because not only can you see a variety of the different trucks and the different manufacturers, but we get to talk to people like you who literally own one. You live with it, you see it every day, and talk a little bit about the people out there who may be skeptical about, I don't think I could live with it.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? So YouTubers are out there, social media is rampant. You get people who come out and they test these cars for get them for a day or 2 days, and they give their review, and it's honest and it's important, and it's a great perspective. However, when you come to an event like this, you have people like me who've lived with the vehicle for 2 years, right? I have 40,000 miles on it. I can tell you all of the ins and outs, all of the problems, all of the little niggles that really bother you on a day-to-day basis. And that's what it takes. It's an honest approach. It's an honest perspective that you can only get from having someone who owns and operates the vehicle over and over and over again. So by coming to these events, no pressure environment, no one's trying to sell you on anything. You get to ask all the questions, you get all the real answers. These events still are critical because EV adoption in Texas still lags behind many places. And so until we get that point where every other neighbor has one and you can just go ask your neighbor, this is the next best thing.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for taking your time and letting people know and sharing your beautiful car here, and also just letting everybody see it, get a chance to sit in it, and ask you a lot of questions. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No, it's my pleasure. And go EVs, go Texas. This is a bold new world, and as a fellow EV enthusiast, thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you. All right, I'm here with Joyce, and is this the first time you've been in an event like this with electric trucks and vehicles?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So what are your impressions and what are your thoughts about these?
I was impressed. I love talking to the people when they say how they use it on a real life, everyday basis. I was surprised the one guy even uses it as an Uber after work.
Oh, yeah.
His trips all over. Bob was interested talking to the traveling nurse and knowing that it can do long trips like that. And he even pointed out to Bob, how many miles can you drive before you need to stop for a personal break? And he goes, about that long. And he says, well, same thing for the truck. You fill it up about as many times as you need to take a stop on a long trip. And it's not been an issue for him. He even asked Bob, pull out your phone. He said, how do you charge your phone? He said, I put it on the bedside table when I go to bed. And in the morning, it's fully charged. He says, you'd have no problem because the truck can be the same way.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you the same question I've asked others is, what about styling? I mean, an event like this gives you a chance to see a lot of different styles, more of a traditional look all the way to super futuristic. So what are your thoughts?
I've seen a Rivian driving around our subdivision, and I'm not real crazy about them.
Okay.
I was surprised when I saw the Cybertruck up close, and I'm kind of wondering if anybody has already gotten the license plate that it changes color, chameleon. That would be so cool, because when we pulled in, it looked green because it was parked right next to the grass.
Oh, you mean the stainless steel? Okay.
Yes, and then on one side was a lighter colored vehicle, and on the other side was a darker color, and I like that. I like it. That's kind of cool.
Well, that's cool, and I'm glad to try to help at least expose everybody to different opportunities that are out there. So one final question for viewers is, what would you tell to viewers that are, a little bit maybe unsure, or they don't know what is about electric vehicles, and what did you learn today?
I think the first thing I would say to them is stop listening to only the negatives on the internet, because I hear so much of that, and I've talked to people that own them, and now even more today. And I think most of the people are talking not from a place of knowledge, but of a sounding, I heard this little bite, I heard that little bite, and I formed my opinions based on that. But these people could not be more thrilled with their vehicles.
Okay.
And I think that's what everybody wants.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, take care. All right, well, I'm here with David, and he's at this rodeo as well, and get a chance to see a lot of the vehicles. So what do you think about what's going on today?
This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like every truck you could possibly want, it's done. Mm-hmm. You've got the off-road specialist, you've got a rock star, you've got a family hauler.
Yeah.
Like it's all done. And it's all been, like somebody said, it's just been in the last year or two. It's just super, it's all about charging now.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as it's like when you're towing now, instead of the chargers being every 150 miles, when they're down to 75, you won't worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's all done.
Well, tell me about that.
It's super exciting.
Okay, well, tell me about that. What is your experience with trucks in general, and your thoughts about what you're hearing and seeing about electric trucks being able to do a lot of the things that you would normally use a truck for?
They're different use cases. You use it in town. You're not going to necessarily long haul towing a trailer across the country, although you can. It just takes a little longer. You got to let go, take your time about it, stop, have a sandwich, take a break, use your phone, do all that kind of stuff, and then keep on going. It's just a different lifestyle. You just got to, instead of I'm going to go as far as I can without having to stop for gas, to I'm going to take my time getting there, and I'm going to enjoy myself, and it's going to be relaxing. I mean, all of these have some sort of self-driving capability.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a different, you can have a 500-mile trip and not arrive stressed out like you did, 10, 15 years ago when it was all on you.
Okay.
I mean, you've got navigation, you've got self-driving. It's just, it's really nice.
All right, well, tell me about that a little bit more. When you're looking at a truck, you were mentioning about self-driving, you mentioned a little bit about charging, but what is the most important thing that you would be looking for a truck?
Well, honestly, we picked one. We have a Lightning.
Okay.
And our our use case is we have dogs that are not very well behaved.
Okay.
And so we put them both in we've got 4, and we put them all in kennels behind us in the back seat.
Okay.
We lift the seats up and they fit in there. The Lightning's the one that has, I think, the most room of all of them, and we need it because one of our dogs is large and the kennel's large.
Okay.
And you've got a large frunk, so you can put all of your luggage up there. The dogs can go in the back, and we can tow our trailer and do whatever. It's really nice.
Oh, cool. Well, since you've owned, how long have you owned your F-150?
2 months.
Okay, and what has the experience been actually owning one?
It's different. My initial, coming from Tesla, my initial response was I hated the app, and I hated the user interface. I hated the buttons and dials, and I was initially going to have to give up my Model 3 to have the Lightning.
Okay.
But decided to keep the Model 3, separate the two, use the truck for truck stuff, the Model 3 for in-town stuff, and it's great.
Okay. So have you had any reliability issues, or?
No.
No? Okay.
There was one of the coolants was low. I had to take it in to get it filled up.
Okay.
That's been about it. Other than that, I'd have to say that the charging network for the Lightning is not as good as Tesla.
Okay.
But when the adapter's out, hopefully it's as seamless as Tesla is, and I don't know, it's really exciting.
Well, that's actually a good question. Since you are an F-150 owner, and Ford has mentioned that they're adopting the North American charging standard.
And that was one of, if that wasn't on the table, we wouldn't have been considering the Ford.
Okay.
That was kind of top of the list, because without having that adapter and a reliable charging network, it's a non-starter, because you can't get where you need to go.
Okay.
There's so that is I don't know, very excited for that.
Yeah.
It says spring. It's here, so it's just like I've seen the adapter show up on the Ford parts site.
Okay.
So anyway, just
hopefully
really excited for that. Want to be able to go down, see the Starship launch, take the lighting down, maybe be able to take the trailer down too, depending on if they get you know, 1 or 2 superchargers along the way set up.
Yeah.
So really excited.
All right, well, cool. Well, I really do appreciate you taking the time to talk a little bit about what it is like to actually own one of these vehicles, because I know there's a lot of questions out there and you hear a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just different use cases, and if your use case works with it and your lifestyle works with it, then it's awesome. Because again, if you can charge from home, then you save all the time on it every time you'd ever have to go to the gas station, because you never go again.
Yeah.
You trade that off for a little extra time that you got to spend if you go on a long trip. But if you're only going on long trips, maybe 4 or 5 times a year, that balances itself out. Okay. I mean, it's just so.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you very much for letting people know, and I think this will be helpful for a lot of people.
Awesome. Great.
Right,
thank you, Joe.
No problem. Well, hey everybody, I'm with Pablo, and he is the owner of this beautiful Cybertruck. So everybody wants to know, what is it like to own a Cybertruck?
Hey, Denny, is that yours to pick up today?
It's the coolest single thing I've ever driven. It's fun, it's like a sports car, but has the functionality of a truck. I mean, it's fun.
All right, well, is this your first electric vehicle, or have you had experience before this?
No experience whatsoever. It's my first electric vehicle. I had a Ford F-150, I beat up with hail before that, and so it's been, it took a little getting used to, but it's been fun.
Okay, so how long have you actually had it?
About 2 months, I'd say.
2 months, and what have you done with it in that time?
You know, get a lot of photos taken of me, hit the gas when there's too much of a crowd around me and I have to get away from them, but no, just be a hero at my kids' school.
Okay.
It's a fun one,
pretty popular with the kids?
Oh yeah, it's so fun. The kids love it, and it gets them really excited. So it's so fun to have the kids come and check it out and see it.
Okay, well, I have a question about that, because a lot of people talk about we need to advertise, people need to know more about it, but if you go around kids, they already know all about this. So what is your thought on that?
No, very true. I think that the truck is a rolling advertisement. I mean, you see all eyeballs are on you when you're kind of driving, and whatever Tesla has done with the kids, I mean, they all clearly know what it is. They know about it. I think it's in Roblox or one of the games that the kids play, so they tend to already have heard about it, and then they want to see it in real life, and so that's fun.
Right. Well, what about the adults, people that you've met? What do they think, especially people who've never seen it before?
There's a couple of different reactions.
Okay.
The first one is, what in the heck is that thing?
Yeah.
So people who've never heard of a Cybertruck, and so I learned very quickly not to say Cybertruck, but just to say it's a Tesla truck, and then it resonates with people.
Okay.
I get a lot of, oh wow, it looks really different in person. So I don't think pictures do it justice.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I don't think pictures do it justice, but a lot of people whose maybe minds have been changed once they see it in real life.
Okay, so they may have had maybe a negative thought on it just on what they've seen, but when they see it in real life, it changes them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
And I think the final one is people just going crazy when they see it and say, yes, I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. So that's the 3 different reactions I really typically see.
Okay, now so is this the Cyber Beast or is this the all-wheel drive?
This is the all-wheel drive.
Okay, what do you think about the two, and do you wish you had the Cyber Beast, or has this one been pretty good?
I mean, the only thing I want from the Cyber Beast that I don't have in this is probably the light bar, because I just think it looks cool.
Okay.
But it's the fastest vehicle I've ever driven in my life.
Okay.
And you know, it's got all the bells and whistles, all the technology. So I mean, I'm sure the Cyber Beast is cool, has that really cool logo, the light bar. But other than that, I mean, I don't really need much more speed than what this thing already does.
Okay, so we're here at the EV Truck Rodeo, and we have a variety of different manufacturers, different cars. We have the F-150, we have a Hummer, we have Rivians. Have you had a chance to walk around, and what do you think about them compared to your Cybertruck?
They are all so cool. I mean, the Rivian is loaded with so many features and storage. The Hummer has such a really cool interface and just a really cool look to it. I mean, you know, the Lightning looks like a really comfortable living room that you drive around, but they all are really cool and unique in their own way. And so it's so cool to see them all.
Okay, well, very cool. Now, one of the things I was asking you about before we started videoing, but it's sort of, I don't know if you call it the negative about all the attention that you get, but it has to do with fingerprints and keeping the Cybertruck clean. So what is your experience and what is your advice about that?
My advice is, if you don't want fingerprints on it, don't drive it around and keep it in your garage. Yeah, it's a fingerprint magnet. it's not terribly easy to clean. It's not terribly difficult, right? It just takes a little bit of time. And so if you're not used to cleaning your vehicle often and you have this and you want the fingerprints gone, you're probably going to have to clean it a little bit more.
So what do you use right now to keep the fingerprints at bay?
A regular car wash, a very light, like kind of soap mixture is what I've used. If the kids have eaten something greasy and really use it to kind of slam the door, then I've used that Barkeeper's Friend and Windex, but I'm a little wary of kind of putting stuff on here until I hear really officially what should be used. This is just all hearsay and anecdotal of what people have used, so I'm trying to keep it to just regular car wash.
Okay, so what are your plans with this? Are you going to keep it the stainless steel, or have you been thinking about doing a wrap?
I'm thinking about doing a wrap. I just seen so many cool colors and unique things that people are doing, and so I want to do a wrap. Making a decision on which one to go with because of the million options is probably the most difficult part.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what are you being told by people who do wraps as far as doing a Cybertruck? Is it difficult? Is it hard? What are their concerns about doing that?
I heard some conversations with some folks, and I've heard it's probably easier to do because of the straight panels.
Yeah.
But maybe take a little more time in wrapping around the edges. A couple of folks are speaking about that here today, but I spoke with one gentleman who said they can do it in 5 hours with his team. So I think that's pretty fast for as far as wraps go.
Okay, well, very cool. Well, I do appreciate you taking the time and showing us your Cybertruck, and also just your thoughts about this event. A lot of people that maybe have never seen any of these trucks or didn't even know that there were electric vehicles to be able to come out here. But obviously the Cybertruck is sort of the star right now. Everybody's talking about it. And congratulations on owning it. And do you have any last minute thoughts for people out there thinking about electric vehicles?
Sure. I've never owned an electric vehicle, and this is my first one. It took a little getting used to. It's a lot of technology. But a lot of people have opinions online. Everybody seems to drive 800 miles a day and tow 20,000 pounds everywhere they go. And for those folks, I say stick to the ones that you're using, right? Because I don't think any of these vehicles have that capability. But for the everyday driver, for the people like myself, I take my kids to school, do groceries, go around town, go to dinner, things like that. This thing is awesome to drive. It's very functional. And for all the range talk that's been out there, I equate it to my cell phone. If you ask me how many hours does my cell phone last on a charge, I couldn't answer you. I'd say probably rest of the day. Same thing with the EV. I drive it around. I go to my kids' school. I do my thing. Get home, plug it in. It's got plenty of charge for the next day. So that's my opinion. For the average everyday driver like myself, not a huge difference. I don't have to go to gas stations, which is awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and appreciate you bringing the truck out here for everybody to see. And good luck with the Cybertruck, and enjoy it for many years to come.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you.
All right, take care.
All right, take care.
So there you have it, the EV Rodeo here for these electric trucks. Seems to have been a great hit. A lot of people came out, a lot of really good questions, and the opportunity to talk to people who actually owned these vehicles really helped this event stand out from what you would normally see. So if you're curious about the range of a particular vehicle, you can actually ask the owners that have used them. Some of them have 60, 70,000 miles on their vehicles already, and just getting that first-person experience has been a really key part of this event. I'd like to thank the people that put this on and made sure that this event was a great success, and also all the owners that were able to bring their vehicles out to let so many people get a chance to experience them firsthand. So I hope that you enjoyed this content and maybe learned a little bit along the way. As always, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Have a great weekend.